Amsterdam, the capital of the Kingdom of the Netherlands, is one of the most popular tourist destinations in Europe. With its universities, academies, and research institutes, along with more than 40 museums, numerous theaters, and entertainment venues, Amsterdam is the country's leading cultural center. In addition, the city is famous for its historic homes, laid out in a pattern of concentric segments in the shape of a fan and built on piles driven through an upper layer of mud into the firm, sandy bottom up to 18 meters below. All told, some 6,750 buildings dating from the 16th to 18th centuries are crowded into an area of 2,000 acres, dissected by 160 canals, grachten, themselves home to numerous houseboats. Many picturesque bridges link the city's 90 islands, 8 of them old wooden bascule bridges, including the Major Bridge, one of the city's most frequently photographed. One of Amsterdam's most popular attractions and certainly its most important art repository, the Rijksmuseum, was founded in 1809 to house the country's huge collection of rare art and antiquities. The museum's impressive collection includes some 7 million works of art, among them more than 5,000 important paintings spread across 250 rooms of this sprawling building. In addition to its paintings, the Rijksmuseum boasts a well-stocked library of more than 35,000 books and manuscripts, as well as numerous fascinating displays dealing with the development of art and culture in the Netherlands. Of special note are its collections of traditional handicrafts, medieval sculpture, and modern art styles. A variety of themed English-language guided tours are available. For a special experience, try the Fun Art History Canal cruise, taking in many of the sites represented in the Rijksmuseum's collections. On the Prinsengracht, the Anne Frank Museum is dedicated to the all-too-short life of one of the world's best-known Holocaust victims. In the actual home in which Anne's family hid for much of World War II, they were Jewish refugees from the German city of Frankfurt. It was here that Anne wrote the diary that became an international bestseller after the war. Just a few years after her death at age 15, she died just 2 months before the war ended. Much of the home has been kept as it was during Anne's time, and it serves as a poignant monument to a tragic period of history. Few 19th-century artists have captured the imagination quite like Vincent van Gogh. Whether inspired by his tragic life or his remarkable talent, some 1.5 million visitors are drawn to the superb Van Gogh Museum each year. Widely regarded as one of the world's most important art galleries, it's also the second most visited museum in the Netherlands. It opened to great acclaim in 1973 and houses the world's largest collection of Van Gogh paintings. All told, more than 200 paintings, 500 drawings, and 700 letters from Van Gogh are included in the collection, as well as numerous works and related materials from his contemporaries. English-language audio guides and phone apps are available. Amsterdam's West Church Westerkerk, famous as the location of the wedding of former Queen Beatrix in 1966, is the most popular church in the city. Completed in 1630, this Renaissance church is unusual due to its many internal and external Gothic features. Its 85-meter tower, popularly known as Lange Jan Tall John, is the highest in the city, and on the tip of its spire is a large replica of the emperor's crown, placed there in memory of Emperor Maximilian of Austria, who, in 1489, was cured of illness in Amsterdam and gave the city his protection, and the right to include his crown in its coat of arms. Inside the tower, a carillon proclaims the hours, its hammer weighing an impressive 200 kilograms, while the largest of its 48 bells weighs some 3¼ tons. Other highlights include a fine organ dating from 1622, along with an interesting marble column, placed there in 1906 in memory of Rembrandt, who was buried outside the church. He was later reinterred inside the church. Rembrandt, along with his wife Saskia, spent the happiest and most successful years of his life in the house on the Jodenbriestraat, now home to the Rembrandt House Museum. It was here, in the Jewish quarter, that he found models for his biblical themes, and where he painted the sights from his many outings along the canals. Rembrandt lived here for 20 years, and the house has been furnished in 17th-century style with numerous etchings and personal objects. English-language guided tours are available. A 12-minute walk from Rembrandt House Museum is Zuiderkerk South Church, where 3 of Rembrandt's children are buried as well as one of his pupils. Constructed between 1603 and 1611, it was the first Protestant church to be built in Amsterdam after the Reformation and was designed by architect Hendrik de Keyser, who is also buried here. After extensive restoration, it is now a center for local cultural activities and events. Another Rembrandt-related destination in the city is Rembrandt Square, home to numerous cafes and restaurants, along with a statue of the famous painter. Formerly the town hall, the Royal Palace serves as the king's residence when HES in the city. Its construction was a monumental task when started in 1648 and required the sinking of 13,659 piles to support the mammoth structure. Based upon the architecture of ancient Rome, the exterior is strictly classical, while the interior is magnificently furnished, its apartments decorated with a wealth of reliefs, ornamentation, marble sculptures, and friezes, along with ceiling paintings by Ferdinand Bol and Govert Flinck, pupils of Rembrandt. Other highlights include one of the finest furniture collections in the world, the City Treasurer's Room with its marble fireplace and ceiling paintings by Cornelius Holsten, and the Hall of the Alderman, also containing paintings by Bol and Flinck. The largest and most important room is the Council Hall, sumptuously decorated and one of the most beautiful staterooms in Europe. English language guided tours are available. Enlarge map, print map, embed less than greater than Netherlands Royal Palace map. The Jewish Historical Museum Jude's Historisch Museum is housed in 4 redundant synagogues, one of which, the Grote Synagogue, dates back to 1670. Highlights include a large collection of religious artifacts such as silver Torah containers, Torah robes, and decorated Torah headdresses, as well as hangings and ceremonial canopies. Of particular interest is the white marble Holy Shrine. The museum also has a large library, while in the upper synagogue, the Obin Soel, there's a kosher restaurant. Of note outside the museum is the Docker Monument, erected to commemorate a strike in 1941 when workers refused to cooperate with the deportation of the Jewish fellow citizens. Also of interest is the Portuguese synagogue, a late 17th century temple that houses the Etz Chaim Library, the oldest of its kind. For a more in-depth look at this fascinating history, join one of the special English-language tours of the Jewish Historical Museum that includes the historic Jewish Quarter. Founded in 1895, the Stedelijk Museum Municipal Museum Amsterdam is one of Europe's most impressive modern art collections. With a focus on 19th and 20th century Dutch and French painting, the museum features works by a number of renowned art movements, including De Stijl, with examples from Van Doesburg, Mondrian, and Rietveld, pop art, with works by Rosenquist and Warhol, and painters such as Chagall, Dubuffet, de Kooning, and Matisse. The sculpture garden also contains examples by Rodin, Moore, Renoir, and Visser. English language guided tours are available, as are fun family workshops. The Begijnhof is one of those rare tranquil inner-city spots that many tourists simply don't notice as they hustle from attraction to attraction. And that's a shame, as this stunning old corner of Amsterdam simply begs to be strolled. Although most of the old homes are occupied, the tiny lanes and pathways around them provide public access, so don't be shy to explore. You'll be rewarded with views of well-kept green lawns, the courtyards surrounded by some of the oldest houses in Amsterdam, including its only remaining wooden house from the 14th century. Originally occupied by a commune of pious Catholic women, Begijnen, the area's small chapel still opened for services saw the last of these women buried here in 1971. The old church Oude Kerk, built in 1306 and the first hall church in North Holland, became the model for many other churches in the region. Numerous additions were built over the centuries, such as the large side chapels from the early 1500s. Also dating from this period is a portal leading to the Iron Chapel, where documents showing the city's privileges, including the freedom from tolls granted in 1275, were kept locked behind an iron door. The tower was added in the 16th century and has a carillon from 1658 that's considered one of the finest in the country. It also offers great views over the city. The interior of the church has features dating from before the Reformation, including 3 magnificent windows from 1555 from the Dutch High Renaissance, and finely carved wooden choir stalls. After exploring this beautiful historical building, take a 12-minute stroll across the bridge to Zeedijk, one of Amsterdam's oldest streets. Many houses along here lean at an angle from the vertical, and the 15th century house at number 1 is thought to be the oldest surviving building in the city. Enlarge map print map embed less than greater than oude Kerk in Amsterdam St. Nicolaas map the port of Amsterdam, almost 19 kilometers from the open sea on a former bay named the IJ, is unaffected by tidal activity and remains a busy harbor. From here, regular passenger and freight services head up the Rhine to cities such as Düsseldorf, Koblenz, and Basel. The port installations were built in 1872 in conjunction with the construction of the North Sea Canal, the objective being to restore the former importance of the capital city, which was being overtaken by Rotterdam. It's well worth spending a pleasant hour or two joining a cruise around the harbour and canals, especially in the evening when the houses and bridges are illuminated. Be sure to include a visit to the National Maritime Museum Scheepvaart Museum in a former naval storehouse on the Oosterdok and home to an impressive collection of model ships, globes, navigation instruments, and paintings. Another nearby attraction is Science Centre Nemo, a first-rate science museum housed in a stunning piece of architecture that juts over the port area like the hull of a large ship. To cross to the opposite bank of the IJ to the north of Amsterdam by car, you can drive through the IJ tunnel from the city centre. The new church Nieuwe Kerk, the official coronation church of Dutch monarchs since 1814, lies in the heart of Amsterdam next to the Royal Palace in Dam Square. The Dam. This historic square was built around 1270 to separate the Amstel from the IJ and gave the city its name. Today, the square and the church are used for public functions such as antique fairs and art exhibitions. Regular organ concerts also take place in this 15th-century church. A striking feature is its magnificent pulpit from 1649, a marvel of Baroque wood carving decorated with the four evangelists and figures symbolizing faith, hope, charity, justice, and prudence. The church also has an organ from 1670, an exceptionally beautiful choir screen cast in bronze, and fine choir stalls. Also of interest are the tombs of famous Dutchmen including P.C. Hooft and Nicholas Tulp, and a Baroque tomb of Admiral Michiel de Ruyter who died in 1679. The stained glass windows are beautiful. One of them dates from 1650 and depicts the granting of the city's coat of arms by William IV, while the Queen's window from 1898 commemorates the coronation of Queen Wilhelmina. On the opposite side of the dam, the National Monument, a 22-meter-high obelisk, was erected here after the Second World War as a memorial for its victims and a symbol of liberation. It was designed by J.J.P. Oud and decorated with sculptures by J.W. Radler symbolizing, among other things, war for male figures, peace woman and child, and resistance to men with howling dogs. Embedded in the obelisk are urns containing earth from the 11 provinces, and a 12th urn contains earth from the Cemetery of Honor in Indonesia. The monument was dedicated by Queen Juliana on the 4th of May 1956, the National Day of Remembrance. Every year on this date, wreaths are laid here and a 12-minute silence is observed throughout the Netherlands. During other times, the monument is a place where young people from all over the world meet. Enlarge map print map embed less than greater than Nieuwe Kerk in Amsterdam St. Catherine map housed in the former municipal orphanage built in 1414. The Amsterdam Museum consists of a number of spacious courtyards where visitors can learn about the constantly changing role of Amsterdam in the country and in the world. Highlights range from prehistoric finds on the town's original charter to items from the present day, as well as displays describing how the land was reclaimed from the sea. The inner courtyards are also fun to explore and house other highlights such as the old shooting gallery. There's also an on-site cafe. The library possesses a rich collection of literature on the history of the city, and graphics and drawings can be viewed by prior arrangement. There comes a point in every vacation when a little shopping therapy is needed. Amsterdam boasts many great places to shop, whether for high-end luxury goods, local crafts, or fun souvenirs. The best known and usually the busiest is the Kalverstraat, with many smart boutiques, galleries, perfumeries, cafes, and restaurants. While the crush of humanity can be a little intimidating, especially on a Saturday, it's an experience you won't soon forget. For a completely different shopping experience, head over to the Vrouwenmarkt, Amsterdam's famous flea market, held here since 1886. It's a veritable smorgasbord of wares, with everything from antiques and food to clothes, both new and used. Another unique shopping experience awaits at the Flower Market of Amsterdam, an amazing spectacle including every type of plant imaginable. Most of the best shopping streets fan out from the Muntplein, a city square that was once home to a sheep market in the 15th century. Rising above the square is the Muntoren Mint Tower, which dates from 1672 when Amsterdam was the site of the mint for 2 years while the French occupied Utrecht. The Museum of the Tropics Tropen Museum, established in 1864, is a fascinating excursion for those with an interest in the history of the Netherlands' former colonies. Set in a cavernous hall built especially for it, the museum contains numerous displays of art and everyday objects from tropical and subtropical areas. It's fun to explore as you wander around the authentic bazaar and peek inside the houses of the Far East as well as the fully stocked Oriental shop. The museum also hosts regular concerts of Eastern and Asian music using traditional instruments. English language guided tours are available. Amsterdam offers a double dose of nature in the heart of the city. Hortus Botanicus Amsterdam, the city's botanical garden, is one of the world's oldest. Founded in 1638, it began as a humble herb garden for doctors and apothecaries. Today, it features rare plants and trees, exotic flowers, and a large hothouse encompassing different tropical zones. Less than a 5-minute stroll away, Natura Artis Magistra Artis, Amsterdam's excellent zoo, spotlights creatures from around the world in a shady garden setting dotted with historical buildings. In the aquarium, you can learn about coral reef systems and take a peek under an Amsterdam canal. Other highlights include the Nocturnal Animal House, Zoological Museum, Insectarium, Butterfly Pavilion, and Planetarium. Also of interest near these fun nature-based attractions is a replica of the Normaal Amsterdam's Pale, the Nap, which shows the average water level of the North Sea. Hortus Botanicus Address Plantage Middenland to httpd hortus.num Home Natura Artis Magistra Address Plantage Kirkland 3840 http www.artis.neonatisrol Zoo. If you're traveling to Amsterdam for the first time, the best area to stay is in the World Heritage listed city centre, also known as the Canal Ring. Amsterdam Central Railway Station borders this area to the north, the Leidseplein and de Museumplein, home to the Van Gogh Museum, Rijksmuseum, and Stedelijk Museum. Lie to the south, and the Jordan neighborhood, with its art galleries and trendy cafe, occupies its western edge. Most of the city's top tourist attractions lie within this compact and easily walkable area. Here are some highly rated hotels in these charming neighborhoods. Luxury hotels in a collection of 17th-century palaces on the prestigious Herengracht, in the heart of the city. Waldorf Astoria Amsterdam pampers guests with its personal concierges, Michelin-starred restaurant, spa, and elegant decor. Also on the Herengracht, Ambassador Hotel occupies an ensemble of 17th-century canal houses, and its plush rooms and suites feature Louis XV-style furnishings and modern accents. Steps away from the Anne Frank House, the Toren is a family-run, boutique hotel in 2 historic canal houses, with individually decorated rooms and suites. Mid-range hotels, a 10-minute walk to Amsterdam Central Railway Station. Pet-friendly, boutique hotel Sebastian's has chic rooms that echo the dramatic style of its luxury sister property, the Toren. If you plan to focus on museums, the homey Hotel Vita is steps away from Museumplein. Right next to its namesake station and a short stroll from the city centre, the Doubletree by Hilton Hotel Amsterdam Centraal Station features compact, light-filled rooms with floor-to-ceiling windows and Apple iMacs. Budget hotels within walking distance to Museumplein and the Leidseplein. The eco-conscious Hotel La Bohème accommodates guests in clean rooms with comfy beds. Rates include breakfast. Adjacent to Museumplein, Hotel Museumszicht is full of character, with a steep staircase, discerning artwork, and homey guest rooms. Near Dam Square and the Jordan neighborhood, Clemens Hotel also has steep stairs, and they lead to cozy, compact, and comfortable guest rooms. Day trips. If you have time to head outside the city, there are some great tours available. To see the beautiful Dutch countryside, including the famous windmills and small fishing villages, take a S.Sands windmill, Markham and Volendam half-day trip from Amsterdam. This scenic tour includes transport by coach, a short boat ride between fishing villages, a visit to a cheese factory and clogmaker, and free entrance to a windmill. If you want to visit another city, the Bruges day trip is a full-day excursion with coach transport to and from Bruges and 5 hours of free time to explore the sights. This is an easy tour that will save you the hassle of planning, driving, and parking. Enlarge map, print map, embed less than greater than Amsterdam map, attractions, hotels, where to stay in Amsterdam, best hotels in the Netherlands.